Hello, and welcome to the Dynamic Man Experience, a podcast dedicated to men who want to become the 10.0 version of themselves through mastering the three key relationships of mindset, money, and the many people in their lives, creating long-lasting, deep connections and trusted bonds for real appreciation and understanding.
Who is Sebastian Rusk? I'd say, Neil, he's a powerful, lovable, authentic leader that helps people radically change their life and their business because they decided to start a podcast. And the podcast is just a small part of the equation. In fact, it's just the catalyst and the vehicle.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Sure.
It
Yeah,
is.
mix that with lack of self-awareness in most of society, and we got a party. So I created something last year called the Podcast Builders Network, which was originally going to be my group mastermind that never got off the ground, which clearly indicated to me that the one-on-one work of what I'm doing is actually what gets a podcast launched. A group, is that really what we want? So I kind of checked myself because then we're going to throttle it down. And if you want that same engagement, well, you're going to have to pay. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm really head down on getting the Podcast Builders Network initiated. In fact, when we get done with this conversation, I'll send you the link because I know that I'm living in my purpose on purpose. I know because I've been able to radically change my life and my business and continue to. Now I get to see other people do the same thing because they made a decision to do the work.
Today's chat is with the incredible Sebastian Rusk, comedian, father, dynamic man, podcaster extraordinaire. Podcast Suck is his podcast growing business, but he has the energy and vitality of a real dynamic man, and that's why it's so incredible that we're going to be talking to him there today. I'm really looking forward to this chat, so let's get on it. Sebastian Rusk, very, very big welcome to you on the Dynamic Man Experience podcast. So happy to have you here. Finally,
It's great to be here, Neil.
You are a real standout character, man. I've been watching you. I love your sense of humor. I love the way you show up. I love your energy, man. It's fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How's it all going, man?
You know, I'm just making it up as I go.
Ad-libbing?
Absolutely. Aren't we all?
I think it's the only way to go, Sebastian.
Yeah.
It really is, man.
None of us have any clue what's going on.
I have to agree with you. The general level of cluelessness it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Sure.
It is.
Mix that with lack of self-awareness in most of society, and we got a party.
We have. It's like anytime, anywhere. So what have you been up to lately that is getting you excited?
Yesterday had a big download, pun intended. As a podcaster, that's always fun, but trying to figure out what's next. As for the past 9.5 years, I've dedicated my life and business to helping people radically change their life and their business by starting a podcast. And I don't see that ending anytime soon. However, there's got to be some ways to be able to complement what we're doing. And I had always set out the original vision for the podcast launch lab in 2016 was to not only help people launch a podcast, but once we've scaled the agency to 7 figures, we'll then create a guest matchmaking service to get you booked on other podcasts, to get our clients new guests for their podcast, and then figure out a way to monetize larger shows and get out and negotiate advertising and sponsorship deals. The last part of that doesn't excite me as much as figuring out what we can do to create a podcast network. So I created something last year called the Podcast Builders Network, which was originally going to be my group mastermind that never got off the ground, which clearly indicated to me that the one-on-one work of what I'm doing is actually what gets a podcast launched. A group coaching program will probably just be an ongoing conversation of what can be done or what didn't get done. So I'm okay with that not becoming a reality yet. However, I still thought yesterday, randomly, what does it look like for me to build a podcast database first? And once I
Okay.
have a podcast database of podcasts, both the ones that we've launched, so we've already got those within arm's reach. And then who else do I know? Individuals like yourself, where I can say, hey, Neil, do you want to be added to the database? We're in beta building out this podcast network. It's essentially going to be an elaborate spreadsheet in the meantime. However, if there's 100 of you on there, and I've got somebody on my team dedicated to playing matchmaker with those 100 people, well, now we've got some activity. So that came to me yesterday. I put together the form, started running some small ads on Instagram and LinkedIn to get people's interest, and the wheels are in motion. So I got to say, I'm pretty excited about that, because that's something where, hey, in the beginning,
Wow.
it's the Facebook strategy.
Yeah,
Everything's free.
yeah.
Get all the engagement you want, and we're going to throttle it down. And if you want that same engagement, well, you're going to have to pay. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm really head down on getting the Podcast Builders Network initiated. In fact, when we get done with this conversation, I'll send you the link to fill out the form on there. But I think that's, I'm not a programmer, I'm a business person, an entrepreneur with crazy ideas. I don't know how all this comes together.
Right.
But now with AI, the onset of AI and AI really being here, it helped me put together a framework. Okay, do this first, then go do this. First step, put together a form, start telling people about it on there. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this is going to go. But as for now, I'm going to call it the Podcast Builders Network. I think
I like
that
it.
makes sense, because if you're a guest on podcast, you're building something. If you have a podcast, you're building something. So yeah, that's what I'm most excited about right now.
Sounds fantastic.
That's on the business side. Personal side, I just got back from spending 5 days in the woods in an RV in Utah down by the river. And yeah, that was great. And I wasn't excited about coming back to Miami at all.
I believe you.
Now, I could have used like 3 or 4 more days out there. I was with my best friend and his family, so there was like 10 of us all together. And that was cool and everything. But I asked myself, you could have kept the RV for a few more days.
Yeah.
You could have kept the campsite for a few more days. Is that really what we want? So I kind of checked myself, because I live in Miami, for crying out loud. People are like, it's amazing. I don't like it because I grew up here and the world woke up and realized this is probably a great place to live, and they moved here and ruined it. And the cost of living is bananas, and there's too many people and everyone's full of shit. So there's a mix of that. I think I didn't want to come back to that, Neil.
Yeah. I hear you.
The
man.
beach, yeah. The views, yeah. But so it's interesting. And I'm still, still working through parenting an adult, which in summary means you can't do shit except love them.
Exactly. Look, and it sounds like you're really building something solid for yourself, and you have a daughter, 24, yeah?
Yep.
But like, it sounds like the last few days in Utah, you've had a moment to ask what you really want next, just for you.
Yeah.
Have you figured that out?
I think I help people. I don't say I do, because I don't do it. You do it. You do the work. I'm a facilitator.
Right.
But I help people radically change their life and their business because they started a podcast. I don't live in a space of lack, because I know that I'm living in my purpose on purpose. I know, because I've been able to radically change my life and my business and continue to. Now I get to see other people do the same thing because they made a decision to do the work. So do we always want more out of that? Yes. If we've done that, if I've gotten here so far, what else is available? I've come to realize, though, that money's not the answer.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's a tool. It's a vehicle, and it reveals more of who you are. I used to think I want to be rich and famous and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't. I want to become the best version of myself, and I want to enable other people to do the same thing because of me, because they knew me and because of the work that we get to do together.
Has there been a price, do you think, for holding it all together for so long?
Oh, I haven't held it all together, not by any stretch of the imagination. And I never admit to at all.
Right, right.
Yeah. This
That's a
whole
superpower.
healing journey started right about 10 years ago when I went all in with podcasting. I had done the Landmark Forum and walked on fire a couple times with Tony Robbins, and I understood the premise of personal development, but I still hated myself. So was I really developing personally? No. And in March of 2016, I decided I wanted a girlfriend. So I hopped on a dating app, and that's exactly what I found was a girlfriend. And I met her for a beer up in Fort Lauderdale on March 1st, 2016. And one of the first things she said to me was, I'm in this personal development course right now. And I was like, well, talk to me about personal development. I know all about it, which was total bullshit. Because I'd go to these things, I'd come home and I wouldn't do anything with them. And she said, I think you should check this course out. And I said, oh, no. Right now I'm integrating more bullshit. Right. And I really liked her a lot. And we really got along, and we never stopped hanging out after that date. And 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, something like that, she just called me and enrolled me in the course. And it was a weekend, Friday through Sunday deal. And then the second part was 5 days, Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
And what was on the other side of this is nothing that I could ever imagine. I thought that I hated everything in my life that I was doing with work, but I just hated myself. I had no accountability for myself. I was harnessing so much lack of forgiveness and hostility from my past and my childhood and with my dad and with my stepmother. And, that's the stuff that kills you.
Yeah.
Is when you're disease is dis-ease in the body, and it started a long time ago. So when I went through this course, it taught me three things, Neil. Number one, I hated myself. So it taught me how to love myself. Right. And then when I love myself, I radiate out into the world, and I attract other people that love themselves or inflict change in other people for them to start loving themselves. I mean, how could you argue with that? The second was that I became fully accountable for my life, past, present, and future. Every fucking thing that's ever happened to me, past, present, or future, is my fault. Always has been, always will be. That's a tall order for most people.
It's massive.
And then the last thing was that it made me 100% accountable for every area of my life. And I was able to forgive those people in my past, specifically my dad. And I came out of that a new person. And in the beginning of that, Neil, they asked us to take out a marker and write on one of those big sheets, like drawing board sheets, who we were in 4 words or less. And I just wrote out, I'm a powerful, lovable, authentic leader. And I was like, yeah, sure you are, buddy. And now, if you walked up to me, I don't care where it's at, you ran into me at a bar, whatever it is, and you said, hey, who is Sebastian Rusk? I'd say, Neil, he's a powerful, lovable, authentic leader that helps people radically change their life and their business because they decided to start a podcast. And the podcast is just a small part of the equation. In fact, it's just the catalyst and the vehicle. So I say that in extreme confidence, knowing that. So when I came out of that, I took, unintentional, I didn't intend to take half the year off, but I did. And I'm like, okay, I need to get back in the game, but I don't want to continue doing what I'm doing in the social media marketing world. What's next? So I became curious, and I also took action. I went and rented a co-working desk around the corner from my house and ran into an old friend a few days later in the elevator, and she had an internet radio show. And I said, how's that going? And she's like, good. And I said, how do you know? And she couldn't explain it to me. And I said, this all sounds wildly confusing. Why don't you just start a podcast? She goes, I don't know how to do that. Why don't you walk me down to my car and we can chat more about it? I said, okay. She was kind of cute. I had no problem walking her down to her car. I'll never forget. She was getting in her car and she pokes me in the chest and says, why don't you create a solution to help people like me start a podcast? And I mean, boom, antennas went up. I went back upstairs to my rented desk in the co-working space, and I mapped out what would become the Podcast Launch Lab, which is a turnkey podcast launch solution to take people from idea to iTunes in 90 days or less, so they can radically change their life and their business by starting a podcast. And I literally haven't looked back since. The work has not stopped. Most days I don't want to do it though. The work stuff I do.
Right.
The work on me now.
Yeah, but you said it there yourself, you attract people that like themselves, love themselves, and are putting themselves out there. And, like she had a internet radio station, but like she overcame that fear of talking,
Right.
listening to her own voice, you know what I mean? And that came from that weekend, you say, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, it was a weekend, and then it was 5 days. So Friday we started about like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
on Friday. And these things, will be done on or around 12 or 1 a.m. But when you're in the thick of it, somebody's up sharing, somebody's going through it, somebody's figuring some shit out. We're not going to be like, all right, that's a wrap for today.
Right.
So most of the days, and because I was like, gosh, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. and then we get started at 8 a.m. tomorrow and we're done at 1 a.m. and we do the same thing on Sunday. I'm like, my gosh, how many hours is that? And then I asked the instructor. I said, how old are you? I said, I'm 35. He said, you spent 35 years fucking your life up and we're going to turn it around in 2.5 days. You got a problem with that? Then the second one was 5 days.
Okay.
So we started Wednesday at noon, same thing, on or around 12 or 1 a.m. each day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you're in a room, big tall ceilings, no windows. I think it used to be a movie theater, actually.
Okay.
So a movie theater with no seats. You're just sitting in a circle. And for 5 days. And the world's in that room. I probably talked to, I'm still in touch with the instructor. He's a dear friend of mine.
Right.
Still in touch with him. And I'm not in touch with the instructor from the second one. I didn't like her at all. I'll never forget her, though. Francine. She reminded me of the lunch lady. You remember that? With the fucking hairnet,
Here's your
You want extra tater tots, you little shit? Yeah. So, but that was but you know what? She had a gift.
Okay.
Because talking about what I just mentioned earlier, we had to go through an exercise where we took a pillow and put it on our seat and we just beat the shit out of it.
Right.
And she said, I really want you to play all out with this exercise. Get it all out of you, all of your anger, all of your frustration, all of your shit. Because otherwise, it will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I never, ever forgot that. And that's been, you know what I mean? When it's something shows up, it's time to cry. When you're going to get mad, fix it, forgive it, have the conversation, make the phone call, just fucking do it. And I think that a majority, and I'm not an expert, I'm not a health expert or anything, but I think a majority of life-threatening disease is caused because of all the shit we carry that's emotions. And it takes a toll on our body, and it takes a toll on our organs, and it takes a toll on everything. And eventually the disease takes over and mutates because we refuse. We're too proud to say, maybe I don't have all the answers.
Yeah, we kick the can down the road, man. We're great. We're world-class can kickers.
Oh yeah, we're good at, hey Neil, I'll sell you my bullshit. You sell me yours and we'll call it a deal.
Exactly. Yeah, we
No, thank you. No, thank you.
We feel that's a fair trade.
Right.
I feel better for about 3 minutes,
Correct.
Yeah. You're really helping people to get their voice out there every day, Sebastian. Is there any area where you feel you might still censor yourself?
Yeah, sometimes some of the posts that I post, I want to really like go in the paint and I don't. So I think maybe that's where, I don't know. I also don't want to be, as a comic, you teeter the line between, being funny and, vulgar. and,
Yeah.
mildly inappropriate. I'm okay with mildly inappropriate, I think. And, the vulgar part is, it doesn't settle well with me. I am a devout Christian. I do want to be as Christ-like as I can as a model, as a comedian in the real world. And that's, that's part of the craft, part of the art. I started doing comedy 4 years ago because I was terrified of it.
Okay.
And I had a buddy set me up. I thought I was going to an open mic, and I get there and he's like, "No, you're third up in the showcase. Don't bomb." And I ended up doing 7 minutes and killed it. And then
Did
I
you?
went on to do my own comedy show in Dallas for a mastermind group I'm part of. And we had about 100 people. And and my daughter opened up for me, introduced me, brought me on stage. And then I had two comics open up for me, but I did a 45-minute set. So,
Whoa.
that's a Netflix special right there. That can be better. I do doubt myself with that. I make excuses. I could be doing more comedy locally here. I could be showing up more. So yeah, I question that a lot. And my tagline and kind of signature question for the world and the people that I get to interact with is, who's missing out because you're not showing up?
Yeah.
And some days I'm like, hey, fuckface. Hey, fuckface. Who's missing out because you're not showing up today? And, some days I don't check out like I used to. These days I just, say, you know what, I'm just not working today. I would rather go drink beer by the pool. And that's what I'm going to do today.
And that's all right. That's all right.
Right. And I'm better for that. I'm not better when I tie one on by any stretch of the imagination, because escaping doesn't really work. It doesn't. It works for the time being. And then there's hell to pay.
No, it really tangles with the wiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's a great temporary fix. And then it was funny. Somebody posted about, he's like, somebody, buddy of mine posted about, I don't do drugs anymore. But I heard a story about, this cocaine, this, that, and the other. And I said, cocaine's amazing until you run out.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with yourself the next day.
Yeah. The hangover is quite something, man. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in Miami. I went to Miami once for a 5-day music festival, and 6 weeks later, I had to be like dragged out of there, man. Great fun.
Wow. Came for a music festival, stayed for 6 weeks.
Yeah. And I had a blast, man.
Attaboy.
Hmm?
Attaboy.
Yeah. Look, you can't say it's not fun. You know what I mean?
That's it. Hey, Frank Sinatra says we only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
I have to agree with that, man. Absolutely. So I love the fact that your daughter introduced you on that show in Dallas, man. That must have been some moment.
Yeah, she was like, what's happening, everybody? You guys ready for my dad to come tell some jokes? And then, of course, everyone's all excited. And she said, I can't believe God let this guy reproduce. No, can you guys believe this? God let this guy reproduce? I'm living proof. Let's give this guy a round of birth control. I mean, a round of applause for my dad, Sebastian Rusk.
So she set you up, man.
Yeah, she did.
How could you fail? How could you fail?
Yes,
Brilliant.
exactly.
Is she in Miami with you?
No, she lives in Dallas.
Okay.
And she's finished up the master's program and works at Buc-ee's, which is, if you've ever been to a Buc-ee's before, but it's a gigantic gas station that sells everything from brisket sandwiches to beef jerky to T-shirts to you name it. It's quite the experience. So she works there full time and is finishing up her master's program. And yeah, she's out there doing it, completely self-sufficient. Best parenting advice I have: kick your kids out, send them off to college, tell them not to come home, and cut them off financially when they graduate.
Wow. Tough love, man. Tough love.
Absolutely.
But look, she sounds like a chip off the old block, huh?
Yeah, she is. She wasn't always outgoing, but she really found her voice towards the end of college.
Okay.
She really kind of stepped in. I knew when she was willing to step to me and say whatever was on her mind, that this girl's found her voice, which is great.
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's beautiful. That's good. That's good parenting, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think so. She said I did a good job.
Man, there's nothing better than a bit of appreciation, is there?
Absolutely. She didn't appreciate me when I was raising her, but
No, but like Jimmy Carr, comedian Jimmy Carr says, you be kind to them by being kind to their potential, not to their presence.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so like you see the benefits years down the road, but you have to put the foot down when it comes to the McDonald's and the junk food and the shit food, man, yeah,
Yeah,
and the bad habits.
I do love Big Macs, though.
Well,
Man.
they are the thing, man, aren't they? They are a thing. So, you seem like you're on a really good path now, Sebastian. You're I feel the vibe from you, man. You got a good energy. What is the dream that's been quietly waiting for you to finally listen to it?
I think I continue to dabble around the idea. I mean, I think that I don't even know if it's dabbling. I think maybe it's what I really want. Letting love in,
Yeah, yeah, it's a big one.
seeing what that looks like. I don't want to get married, and I'm definitely not having any more kids, but I would like a partner to build with. But somebody who accepts me wholeheartedly, keeps me honest, defends my stance, and is comparable to my mom, my sister, my daughter, my best friends, my other females, incredible females in my life. So
Yeah,
that's what I've been wanting to let in.
yeah, that is. You're looking for a woman with high standards, really, aren't we all? But like, you do the work, you go to the weekends, you put in the effort. You've been a good parent. You've set high standards for your daughter. Obviously, you've got high standards for yourself. So the least we can do is put ourselves out there and find someone that appreciates and understands us for who we are.
Yep. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And you know, but here's the thing is that I arrived a long time ago at if I meet the girl of my dreams, great. And if I don't, great.
Right. Just got to dream bigger.
It. Yeah, like Dan Martell says, if you could see your the best version of yourself, you wouldn't even in your potential, your mind would be blown. You probably wouldn't even believe it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is the real dream, isn't it? That's how you let love in, man. You just become that 10.0 version of yourself.
Yeah.
Then you just need to get a good stick to beat all the women off.
Yeah.
Or maybe a small stick. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's love is the answer, man. It really is.
Yeah, it sure is.
But we have to laugh, man. We are looking. It's a beautiful thing to talk to someone who knows how to laugh at himself because we have forgotten.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, man. It's the key. If you can't crack yourself up in your own head. What are you doing?
Right.
If you can't wake yourself up from laughing at some story you've just like recreated in your head, man, that's the whole thing.
Yep.
And to be present, like enough that you can have an answer for every situation. This is like the Irish way, man. The most important word in Ireland?
What's that?
The last word. And I tell you what, man, you have to fight for that. You have to battle for the last word. You have to earn it.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to grow up.
Sure.
Tell you the funniest word in Ireland?
What's that?
Seriously.
Is that the funniest one?
Yeah, if anyone says seriously, they're not talking serious.
That's like when someone says, no, honestly.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. So everything you said up until now is bullshit because this is the honest truth.
This could be true. You get so twisted up in words, man.
Yep. Sure do.
So tell me, where are you off to next after the RV trip to Utah? Are you?
I am going to, I believe my next trip is trip to New York for the weekend. I want to see a play that's leaving at the end of June called Glengarry Glen Ross.
Okay, yeah.
The famous movie from the 80s with Alec Baldwin. It's got a phenomenal cast. It's on Broadway, and it's here through the end of June.
Right.
So I was just in New York in February for my birthday and for an event and for my billboard in Times Square that was revealed for a day.
Right.
So now I have New York pretty dialed in, even though I've been there a few times, but like dialed in where I don't have to take an Uber or a cab, take a train into Penn Station. I stay at the New Yorker right next door. It's walking distance to Times Square.
Nice.
So I want to go hit the Comedy Cellar and watch a few shows because you just never know who's going to show up there, and get some New York comedy in, go watch that show, take in some touristy stuff. So I'm probably going to do a weekend in New York again.
Okay.
I was just there in February, but it was so fucking cold I couldn't think straight.
That is quite the opposite of an RV in Utah, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Excellent.
So that's next. And then I've got Dallas next month. I'm speaking at the mastermind group that I'm part of there. And then I don't know. Whatever's that's all I got on the calendar right now. It's August, I got a pending event in Nashville.
Right.
And September, I think I'm going to both the Social Selling Summit and the AI event that Dan Martell's hosting, because I've been wanting to get out there, at least get some FaceTime in meeting, just shake his hand, be in the same room, and then get around our peers and other members. We've done extremely well with business-wise.
Okay.
I think we've launched 8 shows from people in Elite so far, and that's just since November, which is wild. So
Brilliant.
So I think being in the room is going to further those relationships, meet new people that aren't always as active online or on the calls. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's brilliant, Sebastian. I'm gonna try get out to that social selling summit myself, man.
Yeah.
Be great to meet you.
Yeah, it'd be great to meet you as well.
Yeah, man. We can find you on Instagram, is that right?
Yep. At Podcast Suck. That's plural. Podcasts plural.
Okay. So we can discover all about your podcast builders network there, yeah?
Correct.
Excellent.
All my information's there. In fact, I got a special gift for your listeners. If you go ahead and follow me on it, I'm sure you'll include this in your in your show notes to find me over on Instagram. But once you follow me, send me a direct message. I check my other folder as well. So if in case I don't see them, I see all messages is my point.
Okay.
But send me a DM with the word Neil, so I know you came from Neil's podcast, and I'll send a free gift to you.
Excellent, Sebastian. And I always like to give the guest the last word. I'm not your typical Mick. So what can you send us off with, Sebastian?
Just fucking do it.
Brilliant. Okay. I love it.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah, man.
The world is waiting. Yeah. You're waiting.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, what are you waiting for? There is no right time. Someday does not exist. One day does not exist. It's not even a day.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here waiting for money not to be funny and cows not to moo and the sun not to come up, you're going to be waiting a long time.
You are, man.
But I often ask people, because I was asked this some 15 years ago, who's missing out?
Yeah, man.
Because you're not showing up. Sit with that.
Yeah,
see what shows up.
Beautiful.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Have a great day. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Likewise, my brother. Man. Yeah, man. See you, bro.
Peace. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Guys, seriously, there has never, ever been a better time in the whole of history to be a man. There's a big challenge, no doubt whatsoever. But how are we rising to this challenge? What are we doing about it? That's why I'm here. That's why I do this work. It's never been a better time, ever, to be a man. Let's get on it. Call it what you want. But as guys, there's an exciting challenge to being a man these days. And it doesn't take that much to really stand out. And look, you are not as far away from where you want to be, as you might think. not when you can look at it from a different angle and get a better appreciation for the experience that has got you this far. You could call it a psychological cold plunge. It's time to freshen things up. Being a dynamic man. That is the challenge today.